What path might you take in your quest for total health?
Optimum health that encompasses mind, body, and spirit.
So join us now as we head to the frontiers of integrative health and well-being.
With Judy Brooks
Roy Walkenhorst
and Michelle Bernhardt on Healing Quest. On today's show, we'll see how trauma buried deep inside the brain is being pinpointed and released.
And all of a sudden, everything changed in my life.
We'll find out why expanding our compassion may be the single most important thing we can do to improve our physical health.
It is one of the greatest gifts that we have as a human being.
And we'll sample a new kind of water that's attracting some high-profile praise.
That's why I'm excited, because it's not just a matter of water. It's a matter of making it available in a way that is not only just useful, but healthier. And if you're healthier, you're happier.
Healthier and happier. That's definitely our agenda here.
Well, today we think you're going to be intrigued and maybe even inspired by what we have for you.
So join us now as we continue on our healing quest.
Broadcast of this program made possible by
Prime, a daily dietary supplement designed to support cardiovascular health by boosting the production of nitric oxide. Prime from Kivana, formulated to support healthy circulation for every cell in the body. More information available at primeno.com.
Vital Choice Seafood, wild-caught seafood and whole food supplements rich in omega-3s. More information about our wild seafood and our sustainable practices is available at www.vitalchoice.com or at 800-608-4825.
The American Botanical Council provides science-based herbal information at herbalgram.org.
Be More, a monthly digital magazine designed to help you thrive. Every Be More issue is packed with information from nationally known health and wellness experts. Be More is available on request at bemoremagazine.com. I think our Inner World segment is going to be even more amazing today because of that number that you just discovered.
You must be talking about 1 quadrillion, which is 1 billion multiplied by 1 million.
What makes that part of our Inner World focus is that 1 quadrillion is the number of connections in the human brain.
And 1 quadrillion is more than all the stars we know about in the universe.
So our brain is an internal universe that our Inner World guide, Michelle Bernhardt, says has infinite healing potential.
That's right, Judy and Roy. Those 1 quadrillion connections remind us that we are a lot more powerful and miraculous than we may have previously suspected. And these connections can do a lot for us, especially when it comes to transforming the trauma in our lives. And new techniques have been developed to tap into this powerful healing potential deep inside our brain.
Stay on the spot here. And what's coming up now?
In the right hands, this pointer can help lead the way to new worlds of healing and transformation. David Grand is a psychotherapist, author, and developer of a technique called brain spotting to treat trauma buried deep inside the brain and body.
The watchword for brain spotting is where you look affects how you feel. With brain spotting, we use the field of vision to find literally where you're holding the trauma or symptoms in your brain, because the eyes are very connected to the subcortical brain. Eye positions, or brain spots, help to locate where that activation is in the brain, which is felt in the body. And if you can help a person to find physiologically where the problem is in their brain and where they're holding it in their body, and we can help them to process it. In addition to using eye position, with most clients we use this gentle bilateral sound, which can be nature sounds or gentle music. So this bilateral sound is a way of helping a person stay calm and grounded and helping both parts of the brain to work together. And at the same time, it actually opens the brain up for change.
For artist Bobby Van, brain spotting has been profoundly transformational in dealing with a trauma that was 3 decades old.
I came to David because I had heard about the work he was doing, and it was time for me to be honest with myself. I'm a rape survivor. It happened 35 years ago, and I didn't have the courage to report it. And I found that in denying that it even happened, it was stopping every ounce of creativity I had in my life. I did talk therapy, I did core work, I did a number of other work, but I was still stuck, and I couldn't get through what was hurting me so much. And I started to work with David, and everything changed. I mean, there was a sense of my brain and my heart and my body sort of connected, and I was released. And I would go into the painting studio, and my work changed. It was like everything, I knew what was inside of me. It's almost like I felt there was another person inside of me, and that other person came out. And she painted wildly, and she painted 6 and 7 hours at a time. And all of a sudden, everything changed in my life.
David Grand's brain spotting technique is helping people deal with a wide range of traumas in addition to rape.
This is a rock from,
Can I touch it?
sure, from Ground Zero, from the Trade Center.
Brain spotting has been used to treat survivors of 9/11, the Sandy Hook shooting, and Hurricane Katrina.
I never knew I had that voice. I never knew I had that creativity inside of me.
It's also being used to enhance creativity and performance, and is widely available in the US, Europe, South America, Australia, and the Middle East.
Everything we do with brain spotting is aimed at helping the brain to begin to consider things differently, which means to begin to explore new neural pathways. The brain is very capable of changing itself, much more so than we knew 20 years ago, and we call it neuroplasticity. And the neural pathways, instead of going down those same traumatic pathways, starts to go down new pathways that recognize that the trauma is over, that the person has survived, and that they've healed.
Something I remember very distinctly, I always would walk down the street thinking somebody was going to hurt me. Somebody was going to come from the back and grab me, because that's what happened. And all of a sudden, I could walk down the street and I didn't have that fear inside of me. And it wasn't just one day, it was just like something moved. And I've never gone back to that feeling again, right in the session. It just, something, I connected, and it was like, and my whole being changed.
Trauma blocks us from being who we are meant to be and who we're capable of being as human beings, as creative beings. And when you heal from trauma, you find out things not only about yourself, but about the world that allows you to change in ways you couldn't imagine.
I think the biggest gift you can give yourself is permission to deal with the things that are painful to you. Because if you don't, you're always going to regret the life you never had. And that, to me, is the worst way to go through life. There's a beautiful poem by Rumi called The Guest House, and he talks about fear, joy, love, shame, and he says, feel it all because it takes you to the next place. And that, to me, is what life is all about.
I couldn't agree more. What a fabulous addition that segment is to our understanding of how we can use trauma as a portal for transformation.
I know, and as we said in the beginning of this story, many amazing things can happen with those 1 quadrillion connections. But don't you think it's interesting the correlation between the vast number of stars in the universe and the quadrillion connections in our brain?
Yes. Like, we really are part of the universe. We're really not separate.
Yeah, and that our potential is limitless.
And I also really like Bobby Van's comment about giving ourselves permission to deal with the things that are painful in our life. Bobby also feels very strongly, as I do, about the need to erase the stigma many people have about seeking help for mental health issues.
Boy, is that a big issue. As a matter of fact, in the course of interviewing our trauma experts, everyone, including David Grand, told me we all need to help change society's attitudes about this so that everyone can get the help that they need.
People are fine with being able to go to a physician if their leg is broken to get that healed, or any other physical ailments, they feel that's fine. But there's a stigma attached to mental health treatment. And what people really need to understand, it is a physical problem. 21st century therapy has to do with being able to access the memory the way it's currently stored in the brain, stimulate the information processing system of the brain, and guiding it and allowing it to arrive where it needs to go.
I feel like we're much more comfortable with physical injury than we are with mental illness. People sort of have a stigma about it, which is really unfortunate. So many times if people get the right help, they can move through it and doesn't have to be something that's in their way for forever.
Mental health issues are no different than physical health issues. Everybody goes to the doctor, or at least should go to the doctor, to find out just that we're okay, and occasionally if we're not, then what to do about it. Mental health is no different.
I think we're going to get to a point in our culture and our society where it should be everyday conversation. I think people are going to be talking about their trauma like they're talking about what they had for breakfast. I think the media will play a fantastic and important role in destigmatizing trauma in everyday life. I think it will get to a point, I hope it gets to a point, where people can start to talk to each other in a very real way.
Michelle, I think we talk to each other in a very real way.
Yes, we do.
I think Regina's right about the media playing an important role in changing our point of view about mental health issues. The media does have the power to be used for good.
Exactly. I think that was your original intention in creating Healing Quest.
Yes, it was. And these issues are now attracting a lot more attention in the mainstream media and in documentaries, and all of that is having an impact. So thank you so much, Michelle, for bringing us these positive stories to Healing Quest.
Well, I think it's really important to get the word out and to realize, that we're not alone, that these things can happen to anyone.
I suspect that most of us don't think that much about the water that we use every day for drinking and bathing.
Well, happily, some people do pay a lot of attention to this liquid called H2O.
And the result of their efforts could make a big difference in everyone's health.
Leo Szymborski has devoted most of his life to water and making it better for everyone it touches. And even though Arlo, Joey, and Susan don't know each other, they're all quite happy with what Leo and his colleagues have been doing with filtration systems that produce something called structured alkaline water.
So it makes it a very small molecule, which is much easier to penetrate into the cell and actually hydrate and detox the cell.
Susan McPherson has extensive training in metabolic and nutritional medicine and owns and operates medical spas in Florida and Massachusetts. She says structured alkaline water can have a big impact on health and beauty.
So it actually keeps our cells cleaner, it keeps our cells healthier because it's constantly removing all the toxins.
Nancy Swanson got to know structured alkaline water when her son Joey was diagnosed with brain cancer. Surgeons removed most but not all of the tumor in his brain.
In March of 2012, that residual tumor that was left in the brainstem started to grow. That's when we actually got the alkaline water at that point. We got the alkaline water and the gift, fulvic and humic acid. And we started Joey on those two products. And he showered in it, he drank it, he brushed his teeth with it. And in July of 2012, they couldn't find any live cancer cells. And so we went back again in October of 2012, and they still could not find any live cancer cells. So we went in January of 2014, and they said his residual tumor is almost completely diminished. And there's no live cancer cells. He's doing great. He's regaining strength on the right side of his body. He plays baseball. He does everything a normal 6-year-old child does.
I wanted water that I could take a shower in, take a bath in, drink, that wasn't hurting me and might even be helping me.
Arlo Guthrie is famed for his folk songs and his focus on social injustice. The environment, including water, is also a big concern for him. He has structured water at his homes in Florida and New England, and at all the buses he uses on tour.
Water is scarce even though it's everywhere. And it's scarce because it's toxified, it's all chemicalized, it's all screwed up and made into something it's not only not useful, it's really bad. There's ways to get all that stuff out. And that's what these guys are working on. That's why I'm excited, because it's not just a matter of water. It's a matter of making it available in a way that is not only just useful, but healthier.
Water can keep us healthy, and by proper hydration, by bringing minerals into the body, by flushing out toxins from the cells. If the water cannot penetrate the cell, then it cannot hydrate the cell, or it cannot flush the toxins out of the cell.
This new kind of structured water has attracted the attention of cellular health experts like Dr. Jerry Tennant. He's pioneered research in energy medicine and the concept that every cell in our body needs a certain level of voltage to be truly healthy.
Chronic disease occurs when we lose the ability to make new cells at work. And one of the bases of making new cells is having enough voltage to do it.
Dr. Tennant says the right kind of structured water can provide electrons to maintain that voltage.
What you want with your water is, first of all, you want it to be an electron donor and not an electron stealer. Because when you drink water, it's electron stealer, then it actually removes electrons from other systems in your body, and that's a bad thing, of course. So you want the water that you drink to be alkaline, which means it has electrons in it.
When you drink alkaline water that's full of electrons, full of energy, it helps charge the body's cells. It's donating something to the body, just like a charger would donate something to a battery. And when we're fully charged, we just feel excellent. Our cells are moving around. You can look at blood on a dark field microscope, and somebody that has a very low voltage, or they're acidic, they call them acidic at that point, or acidosis, their blood's all clumped together. When they drink alkaline water, or they do the things they juice, or they do the things that are healthy for the body, you can see that blood very buoyant. You can see around every cell, it has a charge. You can actually, it looks like a halo around each cell, and they're not stuck together. They're carrying way more oxygen for your body, and they're making us much healthier.
Leo says it's also important that after the water is purified, minerals like calcium, potassium, magnesium, and sodium are added back in to help the nervous system function. Physicians like Dr. Deborah DeMarta agree that water can have a big impact on health, especially when it comes to supporting the beneficial bacteria in our digestive tract, which accounts for up to 80% of our immune system.
So if you're drinking water that has chlorine in it and fluorides, which are also toxic to the gut, then you're killing off these good bacteria, and you're having an immune dysfunction. If you're drinking water that's not only pure and clean and bioavailable to the cells, but is also an antioxidant, you're decreasing your risk of possible future events.
In fact, its proponents say the antioxidant aspect of structured alkaline water could lead to longer, healthier lives.
The water functions as an antioxidant because it's an electron donor. And what it does is it donates an electron to kind of put out the fire of free radical damage, because free radicals they're electron stealers. And this, oxidative stress or free radical damage causes inflammation. And this chronic inflammation causes chronic disease. So the water is donating the electron and putting out the oxidative fire. And obviously there are health benefits from that.
So this new form of water, structured alkaline water, could turn out to be much more than just a thirst quencher for all of us. Water as an antioxidant. Now that is pretty amazing.
It sure is. And I wonder if that's why Arlo Guthrie still looks so great after all these years.
Well, I don't know, but I do know that after spending some time with him, I was very impressed. He knows a lot about structured alkaline water.
And if you'd like to know more about this topic, we have a link for you at healingquest.tv. On our healing quest, we've met many gifted healers, and we've heard many, many memorable things.
But nothing has been more memorable than what one of the world's leading brain specialists told us about what he says is the single most important thing we can all do to improve our health and longevity.
This guidance comes from Dr. James Doty, clinical professor of neurosurgery at Stanford University Medical School and founder and director of the Center for Compassion and Altruism Research and Education at Stanford. And although we may think that compassion is good mostly for the people to whom we give it, Dr. Doty says it's important to start with ourselves.
Oftentimes people beat themselves up You know, we're all frail, fragile human beings. So it's saying, you know, I'm not perfect, but it's okay. And when you're kind and loving to yourself, that allows you to be that way to other people. Based on the science to date, we know that by being compassionate with intent, it has more of a physiologic effect and long-term effect on your health and wellness than being at your ideal body weight, quitting smoking, or physical exercise. And the extraordinary thing, though, is that for those who reach out and care, that results in this incredibly deep physiologic response that has great meaning and makes you feel good in a prolonged, deep sense. And it is one of the greatest gifts that we have as a human being. Fundamentally, it is what defines us as humans, and frankly, it will also define whether our species survives.
Two things there that still resonate with me. Compassion with intent, that is, loving concern, is the single most important thing we can do to improve our physical health. That's amazing.
Yes. Well, what's the second one?
Well, the other one was Dr. Doty's observation that compassion is what defines us as humans and will probably determine whether or not our species survives.
We've been hearing for a long time from philosophers and preachers that we're all connected. But hearing a scientist of Dr. Doty's caliber say, we'd better all get that message or else, is very powerful.
If you'd like to learn more about the Center for Compassion and Altruism Research, we have the link for you at our website, healingquest.tv.
Earlier in our show, we met David Grand, developer of the brain spotting therapy that's so effective in releasing trauma that's buried deep inside the brain.
Emotional health is a major concern for David, and so we were very interested in his thoughts on the importance of staying connected with nature.
A lot of therapies go out into the wilderness, and what's fascinating is that things can happen for humans, they can emerge for humans in the wilderness that would never happen in the unnatural environment of cities and suburbs and buildings and so on. We're natural beings in every way. We've just lost our way.
It's very easy to bring in a little sacred space and maintain and honor that connection with nature. For example, it can be as simple as a flower, a bowl, and a little water. So sit back, relax, and join us now for a healing moment. Thanks to our friend Louis Schwartzberg from Blacklight Films for that fabulous nature footage.
We have more information on his great work at healingquest.tv.
And we also want to say a big thank you to Jane Rivar and everyone here at River Highlands Sanctuary near Grass Valley, California, where we're shooting this season. Jane has created a healing, renewal, and regeneration center that is truly a very special place to be.
So thanks for joining us. We hope all is well with you, and we look forward to seeing you next time, right here on Healing Quest.
Broadcast of this program made possible by
Prime, a daily dietary supplement designed to support cardiovascular health by boosting the production of nitric oxide. Prime from Kivana, formulated to support healthy circulation for every cell in the body. More information available at primeno.com.
Vital Choice Seafood, wild-caught seafood and whole food supplements rich in omega-3s. More information about our wild seafood and our sustainable practices is available at www.vitalchoice.com or at 800-608-4825.
The American Botanical Council provides science-based herbal information at herbalgram.org.
Be More, a monthly digital magazine designed to help you thrive. Every Be More issue is packed with information from nationally known health and wellness experts. Be More is available on request at BeMoreMagazine.com.
To order a DVD of this episode of Healing Quest, call 877-544-4827 or write to the address on your screen.
On the next edition of Healing Quest, we'll explore a powerful healing technique known as somatic experiencing to help deal with trauma. We'll learn about an ambitious effort to greatly expand the healing power of yoga. We'll find out why the right kind of cheese could be the perfect health food. Next time, right here, as our Healing Quest continues.